It was a Tuesday morning. Nothing special about it, at least that's what I thought when I grabbed my keys and drove to the grocery store. I had a short list. Bread, eggs, canned tomatoes, a little rice. 15 minutes, in and out. That was the plan. But when I walked through those doors, something was wrong. The shelves were half empty. People were moving fast, grabbing things without looking at prices, without comparing brands. A woman near the folder aisle had 2 carts, 2 full carts, and she was still loading. An older man stood in the middle of the rice section, just staring at the empty shelf, holding his list like it had suddenly become useless. I felt something cold move through me. Don't panic. Something quieter than panic. Recognition. I had seen photos of moments like this. I had read about them in history books, the Depression years, the war rationing, the supply chain collapses that came without warning. I always thought those were stories from another time. From people who didn't have what we have today. Standing there, in that fluorescent light, with an empty shelf in front of me and strangers filling their carts like the world was ending, I understood something that no article, no YouTube video, no news segment had ever made me truly feel before. It can happen here. It can happen to me. And I wasn't ready. I went home that day with half of what I needed. I sat at my kitchen table and I looked at my pantry, really looked at it, maybe for the first time. A few cans. Some folder that had been there since last winter. Half a bag of flour. 2 bottles of olive oil. Salt. If I couldn't go to the store for a week, I'd be fine. 2 weeks, probably okay, but tight. 3 months? I wouldn't last 3 weeks. And that was the moment I made the decision. Not out of fear. Not because I thought the world was ending. But because something deep and old inside me, something that remembered what humans used to know before grocery stores existed, said, this is not how you should be living. My grandmother never panicked when something ran low at the store. She had a root cellar. She had a pantry that looked like a small grocery store. She put food up in the summer so winter didn't come as a surprise. She wasn't paranoid, she was prepared. There's a difference. And somewhere between her generation and mine, that difference got lost. Today I want to talk about how I got it back. Building a 3-month food supply sounds overwhelming when you say it like that. 3 months. 90 days. It sounds like you need a warehouse. Like you need a truck full of survival gear and a bunker in the backyard. You don't. I'm going to show you how my grandmother thought about this, and how I started, with less than $40 and 2 free hours on a Saturday afternoon. The first thing I did was stop thinking about 3 months as a single goal. 3 months is just 30 days 3 times. And 30 days is just 1 week 4 times. You build a 3-month pantry the same way you build anything that lasts, 1 layer at a time. Week 1, I focused only on grains. White rice keeps for 25 years sealed properly. Dried beans, pinto, black, kidney, last just as long. Rolled oats, hard red wheat if you can grind it, cornmeal. These are the foundation. They are cheap, dense in calories, and they don't ask much of you. A 50-pound bag of white rice costs less than most people spend on a single restaurant dinner. I bought 2. Week 2, I worked on fats and proteins. Canned fish, sardines, tuna, salmon. Canned chicken. Peanut butter. Coconut oil in sealed jars. Ghee, which keeps refrigeration much longer than butter. A family in the Appalachian Hills 100 years ago knew something we forgot: fat is survival fuel. You can live without a lot of things. You cannot live long without fat and protein. Week 3, I thought like a farmer's wife preparing for winter. What makes food feel like food when things are hard? What makes a bowl of rice feel like a meal and not like a punishment? Salt. Sugar. Vinegar. Honey. Raw honey never expires, did you know that? They found honey in Egyptian tombs thousands of years old, still perfectly preserved. Spices. Soy sauce in sealed bottles. These are the things that give you morale when morale is hard to find. Week 4, I added what I call the comfort layer. Coffee, because anyone who has lived through a hard season will tell you that a hot cup of something familiar is worth more than its calories. Tea. Chocolate. Dark chocolate keeps surprisingly well. Comfort is not a luxury. In hard times, it is what keeps people going. Now here's the part most videos skip. Here's what they don't tell you, because it's not exciting enough to put in a thumbnail. Stockpiling food is worthless if you don't know how to use it. I met a woman once. She had a pantry that would make a prepper cry with joy. Hundreds of cans, dozens of 5-gallon buckets sealed with oxygen absorbers, freeze-dried meals stacked to the ceiling. And she told me, almost embarrassed, that she had never actually cooked from it. She didn't know how to make rice and beans taste like anything. She didn't know what to do with a 50-pound bag of wheat berries when the power was out and she had no electric mill. A pantry you haven't practiced with is just expensive decoration. Only once a week, I cook from my stores. Not the whole meal, just one dish. I learn what I have. I rotate what gets old. I make sure nothing is sitting there for 5 years untouched. Old farmers called this eating from the pantry. Modern preppers call it FIFO, first in, first out. Whatever you call it, the habit is the same. Your food storage is a living system, not a static collection. And I'll tell you something else. When I started cooking from stored food regularly, my grocery bill dropped. Not a little, it dropped hard. Because I stopped buying the same things twice. Because I stopped letting produce go bad in the crisper drawer while canned tomatoes sat untouched in the pantry. Preparedness made me a better cook. It made me less wasteful. It made me calmer when I walked into a grocery store, because I knew that whatever was or wasn't on those shelves, I had already handled it. I want to stop here and tell you something that I don't see people say enough. Building a food supply is not about fear. People who are afraid don't build things, they freeze, they wait, they panic buy in ways that take from others. What I'm describing is something older and quieter than fear. It's the same instinct that made every farming family in this country spend August putting up tomatoes so December didn't catch them empty-handed. It's the same instinct that made the women of the Depression era make every can of beans stretch for 3 meals instead of 1. They were not afraid of the future. They were ready for it. There is a version of you that stands in a half-empty store and feels nothing except mild inconvenience, because you know what's at home. Because you have already done the quiet, steady work of making yourself unshockable. That version of you exists. It just takes a few weeks to build. And maybe the most important thing, maybe the thing I didn't expect, is that building a pantry like this will change how you feel every single day. Not just when something goes wrong. Even on an ordinary Tuesday with no crisis in sight, there is a kind of calm that comes from knowing your family is covered. From knowing that the supply chain, the weather, the economy, none of those things have the power to leave you empty-handed. It's a feeling the old-timers had in their bones. And you can have it too. If this hits something in you, if you've ever stood in a store and felt that same cold recognition I felt, I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. Tell me what you saw. Tell me when the thought first crossed your mind that maybe you weren't as ready as you thought. Because this channel is built for people like you and me, people who grew up in a world that forgot what their grandparents knew, and who are quietly, steadily getting it back. If you're new here and you want to follow this journey, hit subscribe. We go deep into everything your great-grandmother took for granted and your grocery store never taught you. And if this video gave you something, hit like, it helps more people who need this find it. Next week, I'm going to show you the one thing in your pantry right now that could make every other item last 3 times longer. It costs less than $1. And almost nobody does it. Don't miss it.